Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Yay, I got the date right today. You are here with Robin at In the Family Way Coaching, and we are here for our daily Bible reading. We are reading through the entire Bible in 1 year, and we are using our Day by Day Kids Bible. It is written by Karen Henley. If you have your calendar, it's time to get your calendar out because you're about to read the Bible for today. I have my calendar and I have marked off my day for February 5th because I have read the entry today. If you are new to this event, you can head over to my site at www.inthefamilywaycoaching, and under the tab of Daily Bible or Read the Bible in 1 year, I have a free download of that calendar available for you, and you are welcome to download that, print it out, and mark off your days for keeping track of your daily commitment to read the Bible this year, too. You can use anything you like to mark off your days of the calendar, but if you would like to support this event with either a paid live online registration or a monthly support of the monthly membership support of the event, then I will send you the sugarcane paper copy, like mine, where it's this tan color. And I will also send you a sheet of stickers for the month so that you can use the same stickers that I am using to mark off your daily commitment to read the Bible each day. It is totally optional. I do have that available for you to download, and it doesn't matter what you use to mark off your calendar, but I do have that available as an option. And the printed calendar and stickers are my way of giving back to you for thanking you for supporting me in this event. Well, today we are going to be picking up in Numbers chapter 21 and 22, and we are going to be reading about snakes on a pole, a snake on a pole, and an angel and a donkey. So if you are curious about today's entry, then head over to your big Bible if you need more detail that you think may not be included in our Day by Day Kids Bible version, and check out Numbers chapter 21 and 22. I hope that you guys enjoyed the supplementary reading. I saw I did have a couple of views on that. So I hope that you were able to enjoy that and really um, get the details of what happened in all of that story there yesterday. Let's see here. The snake on a pole, Numbers chapter 21. God's people traveled toward the Red Sea. They could not go through the land of Edom, so they went around it. But it took a long time, and the people began to fuss about it. "Why did you bring us out here to die?" they asked. "There's no bread out here. There's no water here. We hate this food we're eating." Then God sent snakes into the camp. They bit people, and lots of people died. The people called to Moses, "We sinned. We fussed at God and at you. Pray to God. Ask him to take the snakes away." So Moses prayed. God said, "Make a metal snake. Put it on a pole. People who get sick can look at it. People who get a snake bite can look at it. Then they won't die." So Moses made a metal snake, and he put it on a pole. People with snake bites looked at it. Then they didn't die. God's people traveled to many places. Then they came to another land. Moses sent the king a message. "We want to pass through your land. We won't go into any of your fields. We won't drink any of your water. We'll just go on the road. We'll pass through your land." The king wouldn't let them pass through. He called out his whole army. He went out into the desert to fight God's people. But God's people fought back. They won. They took lots of land and many cities, and then they made their home there. Still another king sent his army to fight God's people. God told Moses, "Don't be scared of the king. I've given his army and his land to you." So God's people fought the king's army. God's people won. they took his land. Numbers chapter 22, an angel and a donkey. Then God's people traveled to Moab. They made their camp by the Jordan River. Now the people of Moab were afraid of God's people. They had heard what had happened to the kings from some of the other lands. And they said, "These people will eat us like an ox eats grass." The king of Moab sent a letter to a man named Balaam. It said, "Some people have come from Egypt. They are living near me. Come and pray for bad things to happen to them. I know they are too strong for me. Maybe I can make them leave my land. I know that when you pray for good things to come, good things come. When you pray for bad things to come, they do." The king's men took the letter to Balaam. Balaam told them, "Stay here for the night, and then I'll tell you what God says to do." So the men stayed with Balaam that night. But God came to Balaam. God said, "Who are the men staying with you?" "The king of Moab sent them with a letter," said Balaam. "It's about people who came from Egypt. The king wants me to pray that bad things will come to them." "Don't go with these men," said God. "You'd better not pray for bad things for these people. These people are to get good things." Balaam went to the men the next morning. He said, "Go back home. God won't let me go with you." So the men went back to the king. "Balaam wouldn't come with us," they said. Then the king sent more men, and these men were more important than the first men. They told Balaam these words from the king: "Come see me. Don't let anything stop you. I'll pay you well. I'll do whatever you say. Just come and pray for bad things for these people." "The king of Moab might pay me well," said Balaam. "Let's say he gives me a palace full of gold and silver. I still can't do something God told me not to do. But stay here tonight, and I'll see what God says." God came to Balaam again. He said, "You can go with them, but only do what I tell you to do." So the next morning, Balaam got up, and he put a saddle on his donkey. He started out with the men to go see the king of Moab. But God was angry with Balaam, and God's angel stood in the road to stop him. Balaam was riding on his donkey, and two servants were with him, but only the donkey could see the angel in the road. The angel was holding out a sword, so the donkey left the road and went into a field. Balaam beat his donkey, and he made her get back on the road. The road got narrow. It went between two grape fields. There was a wall on each side of the road. The angel stood in the road again. The donkey saw the angel, so she moved very close to one of the walls. Balaam's foot was pushed against the wall, so he beat his donkey again. Then the angel stood in a very narrow place on the road. There wasn't any room for the donkey to turn around, and she saw the angel, so she just lay down with Balaam on her back. Balaam was very angry. He beat his donkey with his walking stick. Then God made the donkey able to talk. And she said, "What did I do? Why did you beat me 3 times?" "You made me look like a fool," said Balaam. "If I had a sword, I'd kill you." "But I'm your own donkey," said the donkey. "You ride me all the time. Did I ever do this to you before?" "No," said Balaam. Then God made Balaam able to see the angel. And Balaam saw that the angel held his sword ready. And Balaam put his face to the ground. "Why did you beat your donkey 3 times?" asked the angel. "I came here to stop you. You are taking chances by going with this man. Your donkey saw me. She tried to turn back 3 times. If she hadn't, I would have killed you. But I would have let her go." "I sinned," said Balaam. "I didn't know you were in the road. If you're not happy with me, I'll go home." "Go on with the men," said the angel, "but say only what God tells you to say." So Balaam went on to see the king. The king heard that Balaam was coming, so he went to meet him. I sent you an important letter, he said. I wanted you to hurry and come. Why didn't you come? I can pay you very well. I'm here now, said Balaam, but I can only say what God tells me to say. And that is the end of our reading today. Well, today we see that Balaam was asked to come and pray for bad things for God's people. And he waited to see what God would tell him to do. And God said not to do it. Then, when the king sent more men, he went to ask God again. And God did tell him to let him go, but you may have noticed that God was angry with him because once God says no, he means no. And even though he said, go ahead and go with them, he was not pleased with Balaam for having asked again when he told him that only good things were to come to the Israelite people. And so he sent his angel. And wasn't that amazing that the angel opened the mouth of the donkey? It was just it was just incredible because that's the only circumstance that we have in the Bible that I'm aware of. I don't believe there is any other where God opens the mouth of the animal so that he can talk, or in this case, she can talk to a person. But it was really amazing that God would do that. And God is taking care of the Israelite people. Even though they were fussing again about the food, that they were tired of the food, I it's like they just never seem to learn. It kind of gets frustrating for me sometimes as I read these stories. I don't know about you, but I think, well, I can't be too hard on them because how many times have we repeated the same sin over and over again? And so this can be rather convicting in our own lives. Where have we gone and done the same thing over and over, despite God showing us that He will take care of us? And this can be where we can apply to our own lives. And we can also apply where we see that God has said no, and yet Balaam wanted to do it anyways. He says, but what if they pay me really, really well? This could be a great opportunity for me, God. And so he went back and asked again. And God said, okay, but you're only going to do it my way. I only want you to say what I want you to say. Um, and it would have been better if Balaam had not tried to ask again. And how many times have we been told no and we say, but what if I do it this way? Can I do it can I have it if I do it this way? And God may not be pleased with our response to not accept his no. He is gracious in this circumstance, though, where he is still allowing Balaam to go. Um, and then Balaam is going to be expected to only say what he is permitted to say. So we will see tomorrow what it is that Balaam is allowed to say when the king asks him to pray. So thank you for being here with me today, whether you have found me on YouTube or on TikTok, or whether you are watching from my site, or whether you are listening from your favorite podcast. I'm really glad that you're here today. And today you'll notice is a very short episode. I'm on my way to be ready for work, and I'm going to be on time today. So I didn't have a lot of extra to talk about either. I was waiting to see what God would tell me, and so I didn't have a great deal other than that. So sometimes it doesn't have to be long; it can just be straight and to the point there. And I think that's what we did today. So thank you for being here with me, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of their day. Um, if you have not been keeping up with our daily readings, then and you're just joining us, please feel free to go back and watch the previous videos. We started Numbers just a couple of days ago, but it is a continuous story. So it's not so much the book that we are on, it's the point in the story. So you'll need to decide for yourself where in the story you want to pick up. So if you don't want to go back and watch the previous chapters of the story, that's perfectly okay because this is an ongoing story. And right now we are just reading about Moses and the trip that the Israelites are taking in the desert for 40 years. And I thought it was actually very gracious of God to allow them to get some land to take so that they could settle down a bit. So they are not presently just wandering; they are presently living in a land. It is not the land that was meant to be their land, but God has been gracious to them. And sometimes, even though He has told us no about something, that we can't do something, He does seem to provide other ways for us. So I do want to point that out, that they may not have the promised land right now, but they do have something, and that was very gracious of Him. So thank you for being here today, and I will see everybody again tomorrow.